Oh, wait, here we go. B, did you see that half of the Tekken community hates Clive already? Oh, they made sure to let me know. The people that don't like Clive or Tekken 8, make sure to let me know as much as possible. Clive's gaze is very intense. Action-based. Among all the Final Fantasy characters so far, he might be the best suited for a fighting game. Interesting. Not Tifa? We put our hearts and souls in Final Fantasy 16. While we've created many guest characters for Tekken before, this was undoubtedly the most... What? I've spent 4 to 5 years developing this character. A lot of thought has been put into making the game accessible. We also inherited that philosophy. Seeing a character we created appear in the game, I couldn't be happier. People like Tekken, that's cool. Alright. Okay, volume's up. Oh, now it's really loud. Today, to commemorate the collaboration between Tekken 8 and Final Fantasy 16, bring you a special interview with the development leads from both teams. Let's dive right in and introduce our guests. First, from the development team at Bandai Namco Studios, we have Kohei Ikeda. Hello everyone, I'm Ikeda, game director and development producer for Tekken 8. Nice to meet you all. Since I was originally a Tekken player, I'm also known by the name Nakatsu. Oh, that's his Tekken tag? That's cool. I just wanted to let you know that up front. The first Final Fantasy game I played was Final Fantasy 2! And I was shocked after getting wiped out by the Black Knight. Dark Knight? I've been a fan of the series ever since. I'm excited to be here today. Thank you very much. Great to have you with us. Now, let's introduce our next guest, Yoshinori Takahashi. Tekken 8 Game Design Director. Hello everyone, thank you for having me today. I'm Takahashi, Chief Game Design Director for Tekken 8 at Bandai Namco Studios. Oh, is this the Tekken 8 logo? Are we dropping this at tournaments now? Tekken 8, the first Final Fantasy game I played was FF3. My older sister convinced me to get an NES or Famicom by telling me about this awesome game called FF3, and that's how my Final Fantasy journey started. Yeah, bro, this is raw. Drop the 8s. I'm happy to be here today. Thank you very much. Great to have you. Next, we'll introduce our guest from Square Enix. First up, we have Hiroshi Takai. Hello, nice to meet you all. I'm Takai, the main director for FF16 at Square Enix. Thank you in advance for your time today. I'm thrilled about this collaboration. When it comes to Tekken, I usually play as King or Paul. Oh man, people are gonna hate Clive if he's a King or Paul player. And I often played in arcades against one of the guys here today. Oh, that's awesome. So they got a history with Tekken. I'm looking forward to today's talk, so let's enjoy. Eito, yeah, this is hard, bro. This shit is hard. Next, we have Kazu Toyo Maihiro. Hello, everyone. I'm Maihiro, the creative director and writer for FF16. He's got a Xiao Yu shirt. I've been playing Tekken since the very first game. So today, I'm here representing both the FF16 development team and as a Tekken player from Square Enix. Let's go. I love that. I love that they play the game. Thank you in advance for your time today. He's actually sporting a Xiao Yu t-shirt. That's what I said. I might be closer to Bandai Namco at heart. What watch does he have? That shit is sick. I'm not even sure. Wait, what did he say? I'm not even sure to say thank you. Finally, we have Ryota Suzuki. Thank you for having me. I'm Ryota Suzuki, combat director for FF16. Yeah. I'm not surprised he's here because Clive looks very accurate to the game. My experience with the Tekken series started with arcade Tekken 1 where I used Paul. I haven't played much recently, but I was definitely a Paul main back then. With the arcade version of Tekken 1 where I used Paul, let's keep those fists flying. They were talking into these 5 about how Tekken 8 and the Final Fantasy 16 collaboration came to be, as well as some highlights of this crossover. Let's get started. I'm gonna move up so you can see the subtitles. Before we dive into the session, let's first introduce each of these games. Starting with Tekken 8, the latest title in the iconic 3D fighting game series, which has sold over 58 million copies worldwide. In Tekken 8, players will experience the story of Jin Kazama as he challenges his father, Kazuya Mishima, defying fate with a story of growth and determination. New features include the heat mechanic, which enhances each character's abilities, and special style, which lets players perform recommended actions with a single button. People on my comments complain about special style like it's letting noobs play the game, and I'm like, if you're losing to somebody in special style, there's bigger issues at play. There are also character-specific stories and a new arcade quest mode for learning combat basics, and the ability to create your own avatar to battle rivals. A free trial is available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Steam. Oh, that's not part of the video. Now on to Final Fantasy XVI, the 16th main installment in the acclaimed Final Fantasy series. Set in an age of war brought on by powerful dominance, who wield the strength of icons, the game tells an epic and profound tale. Players follow protagonist Clive Rosfield as he grapples with his harsh fate, that's putting it mildly, discovering what justice truly is while lifting the veil on his world's secrets. Final Fantasy XVI features stylish combat for Clive, Devil May Cry stuff, and iconic clashes in an action RPG that's truly a masterpiece. It's available on PlayStation 5, Steam, and the Epic Games Store. So to officially announce it once again, the collaboration between Tekken 8 and Final Fantasy XVI is happening. Let's dive right in. First, I'd like to ask Ikeda-san about how this Final Fantasy collab came to be. Can you tell us a bit about the background? How did it come about? Let me take notes. When they were first thinking of guest characters, promotion for FF16 was popping off. It immediately struck me as different than any Final Fantasy game we've seen before. Clive's intense gaze pulled me in. There was this tagline, "The legacy of the crystals has shaped our history for long enough." The theme of breaking free resonated with us because in Tekken 8, Jin also breaks free from the chains of destiny and grows as a character. And the stream froze. Hello? The stream broke free. Also, when we saw the interviews and promotional videos showing how FF16 was being developed as a serious action game, it looked incredibly dynamic and we really wanted to try it out. Cool. So considering the character's world setting and action elements, I thought it'd be interesting to bring it into the Tekken universe. Yeah, that makes sense. I discussed this with Harada, and then we reached out to Yoshida-san from FF16 with the idea. That's the Yoshi P, the producer. After various discussions, we got the go-ahead. Did everything play out smoothly from there? At that time, the game hadn't been released yet. Oh, wow! They were reaching out before FF16 came out. Wow. So it's been in the works for a long time. That's a long time ago. When we shared our vision, Yoshida-san and the FF16 team, perhaps partly because some of them were Tekken fans themselves, were very enthusiastic about the idea. Yeah, that makes sense. Perhaps since the game wasn't out yet, they made us an offer. If you want to do this, please play the actual game first. and make your proposal based on a thorough understanding of it. That's pretty cool, and you can tell. You can tell by the way they animated it and like designed a lot of his stuff. They understand what Clive is doing. If we were going to do it, we had to. They wanted us to really understand FF16 before bringing it to the Tekken universe. We felt really had to live up to those expectations. That's how it all started. That makes sense. Sounds like there was incredible enthusiasm right from the very beginning. Come to think of it, Tekken 7 also featured Noctis from Final Fantasy. Bro, my heart. For our previous game, when we were considering various collaborations, we chose Noctis, the protagonist of FF15. Because we wanted something unexpected from a major title. We thought people would be really surprised to see him in the Tekken universe. Yeah, I didn't even know what to expect. Despite the surprise, Noctis was well received by both Tekken and Final Fantasy fans. And he almost won the World Championship, particularly for how his actions and customization options were adapted to the Tekken universe. Yeah, when Noctis got announced, I'm like, this isn't even something I would imagine. This isn't even something I would like imagine like to like fan canon about or whatever. Sorry, what'd he say? I can't go back. Oh wait. Sorry. Because of that success, we got this opportunity with FF16, I think, and we felt we really had to work even harder to make this collaboration even better. Noctis was not only a huge surprise at first, but he also became incredibly popular among existing Tekken players. Yes, he had both a high usage rate and great popularity. I'd love to hear more about how the Final Fantasy team reacted when they first received the collaboration proposal. So Tekken approached you about a collaboration when they had barely revealed anything about their game yet, right? Heard about it from Yoshida, the producer. He was completely welcome into the idea and thought we should definitely do it. And he said, Takai-san, you're a Tekken fan, aren't you? Pretty cool. It's pretty cool that the stream keeps freezing too. That's my favorite part of this so far. No one likes Clive. Shut the fuck up, no one likes him. Hey man, I'm sorry that you're disappointed with the new DLC. But generally spreading negativity is not that cool. For that reason, you will be timed out for 5,000 seconds. However, since our entire team had put our hearts and souls into FF16, we really wanted them to understand who Clive was as a character. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And how he lived before integrating him into the fighting game world of Tekken. So we asked if they could take some time to play our game and understand it before starting development. Yes. Lines up with what was just said. They were completely fine with that. We asked them to come to our office. And these two spent a whole day playing the game from the beginning. That's awesome. They brought a development build of Tekken 8 with them, so we played that as well. Oh. In our long rectangular meeting room, we split into two groups. One playing Tekken 8 in the back, the other playing FF16 in the front. In the front, Harada and I spent 3 to 4 hours each day playing through the main chapters and experiencing the action sequences with our headsets on. FF16 team, including Yoshida-san, set this up for us. Sorry, I missed that one line. Wow, they went through like 15 subtitles right away. It was about 6 months before the game's release, right before the busy final stages and master submission period. Yet they still took the time to invite us and explain everything in detail. Oh, wow. It was mind-blowing, not just the quality, but how amazing the action was. While we were thrilled to be a part of this, I remember heading home feeling intense pressure, knowing that we couldn't produce anything mediocre for a collaboration with such an impressive game. This has been in the works for a long time. They must have been excited about this collaboration and playtesting session though, right, My Hero-san? Actually, I wasn't involved in that initial... I wasn't even there, bruh. I only heard about it afterwards. Since it was a kickoff meeting, it made sense for Takai, the main director, to be there. But when I heard about it later, I was like, hey, you know I was a huge Tekken fan. Why didn't you invite me? That's funny. Get excluded. And when Tekken 3 was released in arcades, I can tell this story now. We went together to the Playmax arcade in Shinjuku. When we opened the arcade door, there was a row of brand new Cyberhead cabinets with Tekken 3 running on System 12 hard. I don't know any of this. I'm not that old. These beautiful high-resolution graphics, and even though it was just release day, everyone is already mastering the side steps and having intense matches. Sweaty ass dudes. We just stood there at the entrance amazed saying, wow, this game is really 3D. The stream froze again. What is happening? Anyways, so if FF16 came out June 22nd, 2023, that means they started talking about... They had this meeting in like January 2023, which is like a year ago. Why wasn't I invited? Well, we knew you'd be involved eventually. That's funny. When I finally got involved, I discovered there was an enormous amount of supervision work waiting for me. Almost made me wish I hadn't known about it. That's funny. So when I heard about the collaboration, I was genuinely happy. Because I've been playing the series for so long. You got a Xiao Yu shirt. But even more than that, I was completely surprised by the news. I see. You guys giggling. Now, Suzuki-san, I hear you're quite a fighting game fan yourself. How did you react when you first heard about this collaboration? First, I was surprised. More than that, I was absolutely thrilled. Being as 16th Clive is the newest protagonist in the series. And that I spent 4 to 5 years developing his character. 4 to 5 years! Jeez! I have a strong personal attachment to him. Yeah, that makes sense. I personally didn't want his story to end with just one game. I was hoping to find ways to feature him in other titles somehow. Okay, I'm out. They're just going to talk about Clive. Yeah, it's the Clive dev talk. What did you think they were going to talk about? The Final Fantasy series typically has a different protagonist for each numbered title. So I thought it would be difficult. That's why I was incredibly happy when we received this collaboration offer. Also, since FF16's battle system is action-based, we've carefully designed each of Clive's moves with specific uses in mind, fine-tuning their strengths and weaknesses for different situations. In that sense, I felt his moveset would translate well into a fighting game. I will say, having played 16, I was really looking forward to seeing the final result, is what he said. Playing 16, I think the early powers were better designed than the later powers, but that's just me. When playing Final Fantasy 16, I really felt there were movements that seemed very fighting game-like. Yeah, it's an action game. It's like a Devil May Cry hack and slash. Before working on 3D action games, I spent a lot of time developing 2D fighting games. Oh! Hey guys, don't put spoilers because there's people who haven't played 16 that want to play it. Just a heads up. So much of my fighting game expertise went into the foundation of designing. Oh, in that sense, it was a natural fit. Okay, that's cool info. Was this Suzuki? We were saying that among all the Final Fantasy characters far, Clive might be the one best suited for a fighting game. I thought exactly that when I played it. I could immediately envision how it would work. During supervision, it was really helpful that we could freely use fighting game terminology. That's fire. Not Tifa though. Yeah, this is a different team. The FF7 remake team is different. I think everyone can see just how much mutual appreciation. Business Division 2, I think, is the one that did FF16. They're literally different teams. I think everyone can just see how much mutual appreciation there is between these development teams for each other's work. Yeah, that's so cool. Now let's talk about Clive Rosfield, the fourth playable character. As we can see on this monitor, here we go. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Okay. He's pissed off, understandably. Could you tell us about the visual design details? Sorry, I'm not reading fast enough. Sometimes the subtitles go so fast. That went into... Can you tell us about the visual design details that went into bringing Clive, the main protagonist, into Tekken 8? Ikade-san, please go ahead. Players can see him in very high detail right from the start of the game. We really paid attention to every detail. They adjusted the 3D model to fit into the Tekken universe. I'm not sure what that means. When we actually brought the development build to show you, you genuinely said, "Oh, he looks cool." And Yoshida-san even said, "This is just like FF16." I was so relieved he didn't say it looked different from your vision. That was such a relief. Every time I boot it up, I get confused from which game I'm starting. Do you really? Like, it says Tekken 8. Do you really get confused? Like, surely that's a slight exaggeration. Let's actually go to the character select screen and take a look. Okay. Oh, they put him next to Yoshimitsu? That's hilarious. Whoa! Fire. Has the Final Fantasy 16 development team seen... What does it say? God, they move so fast sometimes. I'm sorry, guys. Seen this several times? Yes, they've been supervising the development. Yes, we've been hands-on with the supervision. Okay. This flame-like orb floating beside Clive, coming from his hand, it only appears on this screen. Fighting style dominant. Sorry, I got distracted. Oh my god. Bro. YouTube. Fighting style dominant, nationality Grand Duchy of Rosaria, and his stats. I'm really curious about it. What's it called? I wonder what its official name. During development, we just called it Magic Lantern. Well, I wonder about its official name. I figured we couldn't just be a lantern. Something like that. The official name is Will-O-Wisp. It does have a name, but we don't specifically mention it anywhere in the game. Since Clive always summons this when passing through dark areas. We wanted to recreate that in detail, so we added it here. That's a cool little touch. We needed light for dark areas, but we weren't sure how to handle the torches. Like how to take them out and put them away, so we thought about using a magical light instead. We created it, but development just kept moving forward without anyone thinking about what to name it. But it works like this with him shining his own spotlight. It was properly integrated into the design. I'm glad we paid attention to these details. Also regarding the design details, when we first discussed it, since the Tekken world has so many well-built fighters, this guy's all about the gaze of Clive and the build of his fighters. We received an order to make sure he wouldn't look out of place standing next to Jin, the protagonist. Or his father, Kazuya. When we were exchanging reference materials, we first noticed that he's actually the same height as Jin. While Clive is relatively well built for a Final Fantasy character, this is by no means Final Fantasy's fault. We thought it might look a bit slim standing next to Jin and Kazuya. Honestly, Jin and Kazuya are too buff. The steroid inflation of the male models is crazy. If we use the regular 3D model as is, so we requested that his appearance be adjusted. Clive would be too thin if we used the regular 3D model as is, so they buffed him up. They wouldn't look obviously weak. Adjusted his silhouette, including his legs and upper body. Jeez, a lot of detail here. To be comparable to Tekken characters while still maintaining enough stylishness that the fans of the original wouldn't say Clive's gotten fat. Now that you mention it, huh, it is different, but it doesn't feel out of place at all. Even people who know Clive very well might just feel something's different. I thought his face looked a little different, but if you put Clive from 16 next to Clive from Tekken 8, you'd probably notice around the waist area. Okay. We made enough adjustments that you notice the difference if you compared them directly. Oh, there really was this much of a distance. Let's put them side by side and take a look. We can't. We can't do that. Don't do that. Keep it down, host. Also, for this game, since it's a fighting game, we needed costumes with 2P colors. The stream froze again. Are you serious? Of course we needed those. 2P costume is fire. Prepared a white 2P color and also the mercenary outfit from his time with the Sandbreak military. Yup. That looks pretty good. We provided all the 3D models that they could be used. And then there's Ifrit Black. This is like a DLC costume or like a bonus costume? The white costume looks like the desert outfits. We didn't know about it, and then later you were like, oh, we also have this. Oh, you could have that? Could we use that too? Are they talking about the Ifrit thing? You were like, go ahead. That's incredibly generous, isn't it? Yeah, sharing the 3D models is pretty nice. But I guess, like, if you're doing this kind of collaboration, it seemed like they were already down to share as much as they could anyways. Okay, battle stage appearance. Here we go. Are they going to do it on Phoenix Gate or in the city? This is Urban Scare, which looks like Times Square, New York. Something you definitely never see in Final Fantasy 16. Fair. Let's display the character in Urban Square. Oh, what did he say? They said, like, transported to another world. Let's... If Clive came to Urban Square... Wondering what would happen, like, being isekai'd. Yeah. He's just standing there. He's acting so casual about it. His silhouette does look similar. While his waist and legs are a bit thicker, most players won't notice it. Jesus. Almost impossible to tell. During action, you're looking from behind, but fighting games are viewed from the side. That's a good point. He looks just as good as Jin, whether standing still or moving. Weak-ass backdash. Actually, it might be fire. Hold on. 2-2-2 Torgal. The standing pose looks different from behind versus from the side, so compared to the original, his posture control has improved quite a bit. We had it adjusted. So I think his idle pose is adjusted. The sword length is quite different. The sword looks kind of short. Don't you think? Doesn't it look kind of short? We made it considerably shorter. Yeah. The original was quite long. Pause. It was hitting from this distance. Dang, they nerfed his range. That's funny. Nobody would have been able to get close. You know, it's all good. These are the visual details we focused on. Next round. Wait, what? What is this? When I asked for Ifrit's model, I thought, are they serious? The character is really accessible. Oh, they got chapters. Incorporating all iconic abilities. If we're implementing it in Tekken 8, Clive is fundamentally a swordsman. If we look at this, it's almost Dev Talk round 2. Is it over? Is that it? Cliffhanger? Are you serious? I gotta wait for tomorrow? Unbelievable, man. LOL, wanna play? Bro, I gotta record a video. That's insane. They did me so dirty.
And that is it for this video. If you like this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Those really help me out, guys. And check out my other videos where I teach a lot of newbie friendly tutorials and beginner guides for Tekken enthusiasts. And as you guys may know, I was a Noctis main in Tekken 7. There is no Noctis anymore, so if I play a little subpar, that's probably why. I haven't found my new main yet. And I keep telling myself it might be Lily, but I might go back to Steve, because I'm not sure how I do well in high-rank competitive play. And if I lose, I down a bottle of wine. So prevent me from becoming an alcoholic. And like, comment, subscribe today!